What's up, fam? It's Chappell, host of the Recap Kickback podcast, here with more coverage of Deal or No Deal Island as a part of the RHAP Hit or Quit podcast feed. And we have a special treat for the Hit or Quit podcast listeners. Today, we have our two expert briefcase openers from Deal or No Deal Island, Kamari and Ben. How are you two today?
How we
We
doing?
are great. Thanks for having us.
It's great to have you. Yeah. So I know our listeners have a lot of questions for you, and I have a lot of questions as well because briefcase opener is a very specific set of skills, and I really want to know, Kamari, how did y'all get chosen for a role like this?
Honestly, it was just, I don't know, luck of the draw, I guess. But I think truthfully, after seeing so many people, Ben and I, we have such excellent chemistry. That was just such a big blessing when we came together. We had no idea we would be so close. So I think that's probably what locked us in. And once we met each other, it was like, oh, we've been best friends forever. So
Sure.
I think it came down to that, because I'm sure they saw a lot of amazing people, but when Ben and I came together, it felt like it made sense.
Okay, Ben. So were you a briefcase opener on the original Deal or No Deal, or is this your first time doing this? Because you feel like y'all are very experienced in this world.
Yeah. I mean, it did definitely came natural to both of us. It was the first time for me to touch a briefcase, I think, ever in my life. So I mean, for me to go in there, I don't think I ever held a briefcase before this. So yeah, it was completely new to me. So to kind of just adapt into learning how to open it and react and show an expression and feed it to the audience. Yeah, it was a first, but it definitely came natural.
Yeah, so
Yes.
let's talk about the reactions. So when you all are posed with the question, open your briefcase, you look down, the person's of course begging for you to have like a low number for them, hopefully. When you
Mhm.
peek in, what are you thinking? Are you thinking, do I need to give some suspense for the camera? Am I hoping this person does well? Where do you get yourself in your mind frame for this job? Because these people are counting on you to give them good numbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I feel like, first of all, like we said, we don't know what's in any of the briefcases. So
Mm.
for us, it's hard to first be the first person to see the number, have a poker face, because we're going to have a natural reaction. We do want all the contestants to win. And so, yeah, once we see it, we got to have to play with them a little bit, depending on what they need, what they're asking for. And then that's our time to just, make it fun. That's where we get to add in some spice and, get the emotions flowing. So,
And you can
Okay.
read the energy too. You can read the energy of of what's at stake. So knowing
yes.
what you're opening and knowing, that this could possibly send them home, this dollar amount, you can definitely react to it. It kind of it hits you right when you open the case because
Yes.
we're broadcasting it to them. So yeah, they're
Yes.
sure.
Uh,
Definitely.
do you ever feel a level of guilt when the person is telling you like I need a penny and you know it's like $3 million in there?
Yeah.
Yes. Or I feel like, and Ben can agree with this, it's worse when they pick one of our cases as their case. And we're like, oh,
Mhm.
it feels heavy, it feels good. And it
Yes,
ends up
that's
being like a penny.
yeah, that's
Like, we're so sorry.
yeah, you almost feel like it's your fault, even though we have no
Yeah,
control over,
we had no idea.
Yeah, that has to be a tough spot because the person is definitely blaming
Yes.
you inside their mind. They're like, "Oh
inside.
God,"
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
because I see it
We
sometimes.
instant.
Yeah, sometimes they're like, "Oh, Kamari, that was a bad briefcase. I'm gonna go to Ben's side now," and I'm like, "Oh man, the pressure's on Ben.
Yeah,
How do you
yeah.
deal with that?"
Right.
It gets personal.
It
It
really,
does.
yeah, you can feel it too. You can really feel it. So y'all are on that side of the briefcases. Have you ever started to think, what if I was on the other side? Like, how do you feel about the opportunity to potentially play a deal or no deal type game?
Me and Kamari said we'd win that show. We're so
Which why they
competitive.
wouldn't let us.
And yeah, and athletic, they knew not to put us as contestants. So
Absolutely. We even wanted to do some of the test drives, the test runs for some of the challenges. They were like, you guys wouldn't be afraid enough. They wouldn't be afraid of the challenge if you guys demonstrated.
we're both
So
adrenaline junkies, so we would
yes.
have ate it
Okay.
up.
So the snakes wouldn't have slowed you down at all.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it
I
would
would have
have.
been scared, but listen, knowing what's at stake, I would have shoved my hand in that box so quick.
That's also true, but very scary. More of the adventurous stuff was what we're all in for. When it comes
Mm,
to like reptiles, I'm a little bit more skeptical.
Gotcha. So how much about the game did you actually know going in? Because we know what your job is, your role is, but it's not very active in the rest of the game. We've seen y'all at challenges sometimes, passing out tea and stuff. But how much of this did you actually know going in was going to be the premise of Deal or No Deal Island? Kamari?
I feel like we got like sort of a test run on what was going to go on, but as it's season one, you know, things are kind of unfolding as they go as well, you know? So I think that fingers crossed for season two, there's going to be room for expansion, which is even cooler. But yeah, Ben, how would you add to that? I feel like,
I mean, it was completely, there's things that we definitely knew going into to kind of prepare and expect,
right.
But I feel like, you know, the elements of the island and the elements of a first season of a show, things change and things are new at different times, and you kind of have to just adapt and go with the flow of the show. So as much as we were prepared, there was always things that we kind of had to adjust to.
Yes.
Dehydration.
But we luckily had a great team.
You said dehydration?
Mosquito bites were a couple.
Yes. And we're both from a humid climate, and we went in very prepared, and it did not matter. We're like, oh, it's hot here.
You would think they would try to protect you all from that, but y'all are very much a part of the game as well. Have you been watching back and noticing things in the season that are very entertaining? Like, how are you enjoying watching the show? Because we know you're a part of it, but going home and seeing it has to be a very different experience, right?
Yes, absolutely. Because, you know, we weren't a part of every single challenge, and we actually had no idea what was happening with the contestants at cast camp outside of the temple. So by the time they made it to temple, we were being caught up by Joe. We were being caught up on what was happening. We were seeing the drama unfold for the first time. And Ben and I are looking at each other like,
whoa, we didn't even know this happened.
Yeah. So what has your interaction been like with Joe? I know we've seen y'all on camera a few times. It seems like it's very fun. What is Joe like as a host?
He's amazing.
Amazing.
It's his first time hosting, and he killed it. He's a natural at what he does. So
yes, absolutely.
Put it all on his shoulders and run it, with it being such an iconic show to begin with. I mean, I don't think we could have been any more impressed by him. He absolutely killed it.
Yeah. And so humble and so kind, and was like so helpful. Like, we were able to learn so much off of him and just enjoy his presence. And he was so great to work with. Honestly, couldn't have chosen a better team. Loved working with Ben and Joe. Such a wonderful experience.
Yeah. It seems like so much fun. Okay. Before we wrap up, I have to know, who are you rooting for this season? No spoilers. I'm sure y'all know the outcome, but who are you rooting for? You have to pick somebody. You can't cop out.
What?
Who wants to go first? Yeah. Okay. Maybe you can cop out, but just tell me what you've been thinking about the contestants overall.
I mean,
the contestants overall.
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. Yeah, the contestants overall have been amazing. And like, there's such a spread of different personalities. So, you know, it's cool to kind of see all the reactions, you know, come out at Temple. You definitely get attached to certain people. I think America loves Aaron.
Yes.
He's
the underdog.
Yeah, he's the underdog. He's sweet and innocent. And so I think everyone's kind of rooting for Aaron in their heart.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And before we wrap up, it's been great talking to y'all. I know we had limited time today, but please tell everybody else what else you have going on, because we only know you as our briefcase openers, but I'm sure you're much more. Give us the rundown. What are you doing? Where can people find you on social media, if you even want that kind of thing? Let the fans know where they can follow you.
Yeah, well, we're both LA based. So my Instagram is @It's Kamari Love. Would be happy to have the followers. And yeah, I'm an actress at heart, and I hopefully will be in the movies and leading pilots and doing the thing. So I enjoyed starting with Deal or No Deal because I got to showcase myself, my actual character, and my personality, which was a great straight out the gate experience. But I definitely hope to expand into big movie roles and big lead roles and some series and see where we can get going.
All right. And Ben, what about you?
Yeah, I'm LA based, like Kamari said. My Instagram handle is Ben_Crof. Feel free to follow. And yeah, I'm a full-time model at heart. That's kind of what I moved out here for. So I'm just kind of grinding it out still and booking what I can book. It's been busy for me, so I'm definitely blessed in that aspect, and kind of just looking for new ventures, seeing what's open, seeing what's out there, keeping an open eye to everything.
And we're excited to see what comes from you guys next. But thank y'all so much for being with us. It has been a pleasure talking to y'all, and we hope to hear from you much more this season.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us.
No problem. All right, everyone. That was Ben and Kamari, our expert briefcase openers on Deal or No Deal Island. To keep up with more of our coverage of Deal or No Deal Island, please remember to subscribe to the RHAP Hit or Quit podcast feed for weekly episode recaps. And be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Recap Kickback for more information on what I have going on. Until next time, peace.